The galactic hegemony had ruled the stars for 12,000 years. 400 different species lived under its control. Every planet, every moon, every ship that flew through space was known to them. The Central Registry held records of billions of vessels. Nothing moved in the galaxy without the hegemony knowing about it. Fleet Commander stood on the bridge of his warship, watching the endless blackness of space through the main viewing screen. His scales were gray with age, and his 4 eyes had seen many things in his long career. But today would show him something new, something that would change everything. "Commander," his sensor officer called out. The young officer's voice was shaking. "We have detected something strange." Walked over to the sensor station. "What is it?" "A ship, sir. It came out of uncharted space, the area beyond the outer rim where no one goes." "Show me." The screen changed to show a small vessel. It was not big. By hegemony standards, it was barely the size of a patrol ship, but something about it made feel cold inside. "Run identification," he ordered. The computer worked for several seconds. Then it displayed words that had never seen before in his 40 years of service. "Unknown origin, no match found." "That is impossible," said quietly. "Every ship in the galaxy is in our database. Every species that can build ships is known to us." "I ran it 3 times, Commander," the sensor officer said. "The result is the same. This ship does not exist in any of our records." Studied the vessel on the screen. Its shape was strange. Smooth lines and sharp angles mixed together in a way that no known species built their ships. The metal of its hull was not any alloy the computer could identify, and the way it moved through space was wrong somehow. Too fast, too smooth. "How fast was it traveling when we first detected it?" asked. The sensor officer checked his readings. His face went pale. "Sir, it was moving at speeds that should not be possible, faster than any ship in our fleet, faster than anything in our records." Felt his heart's beating faster. In 12,000 years, the hegemony had discovered hundreds of species. Some were primitive, some were advanced, but all of them fell within the understood limits of technology. What the sensor officer was describing broke those limits. "Where is it now?" "It has slowed down, Commander. It is holding position near the dead moon of 7. "Is it armed?" "I cannot tell, sir. Our sensors cannot read its systems properly. The energy signatures are. I do not know how to describe them. They are like nothing I have ever seen." Made his decision quickly. Send an emergency transmission to High Command. Highest priority. Mark it for the Supreme Overseer herself. The communications officer looked shocked. "Sir, the Supreme Overseer, are you certain?" "I am certain. Tell them we have encountered a vessel of unknown origin, unknown species, and unknown capability. Tell them it came from beyond our borders and travels faster than anything we have. Tell them," paused, choosing his words carefully. "Tell them we may have a situation that has not happened in 3,000 years. First contact with a truly unknown civilization." The message was sent. Within hours the response came back. The Supreme Overseer herself had read the report. Her orders were clear and absolute: quarantine the entire sector. No ship enters, no ship leaves. Find out everything about this unknown vessel. More warships arrived throughout the day. By nightfall, 50 hegemony vessels surrounded the small section of space where the strange ship waited. They kept their distance, weapons ready but not aimed. No one wanted to start something they could not finish. Watched the unknown ship through his viewing screen. It just sat there near the dead moon doing nothing. Waiting. But waiting for what? "Commander," his science officer said, approaching carefully, "I have completed my analysis of the vessel." "Tell me." "Its power signature is remarkable. That small ship produces more energy than our largest battleship. Its engines use principles I do not understand. And sir," the science officer hesitated. "Speak." If that ship wanted to run, we could not catch it. If it wanted to fight, I am not confident we could stop it. Whatever species built that vessel, they are not like anyone we have met before. Nodded slowly. He had suspected as much. The hegemony was powerful. It had crushed rebellions and conquered worlds. But looking at that small, strange ship floating silently in space felt something he had not felt in many years. He felt afraid. Somewhere inside that vessel were beings from a world the hegemony did not know. They had technology the hegemony did not understand. And they had traveled into hegemony space without permission, without warning, without fear. Who were they? What did they want? Were they explorers or invaders, friends or enemies? These questions would need answers. But as watched the unknown ship sitting peacefully under the light of distant stars, he could not shake one terrible thought from his mind. What if the hegemony, for the first time in 12,000 years, had met something it could not control? The stars suddenly seemed much colder than before. 6 days passed. The unknown ship did not move. It did not attack. It did not run. It simply waited near the dead moon while the hegemony assembled its first contact team. First contact was serious business. The hegemony had protocols written thousands of years ago for meeting new species. These protocols demanded patience, careful study, and enough military power nearby to destroy a planet if things went wrong. By the 6th day, 200 warships surrounded the small vessel, enough firepower to burn a civilization to ash. The diplomatic shuttle launched from its flagship. Inside were 3 of the hegemony's finest diplomats, trained in hundreds of languages and customs. They approached the unknown vessel slowly, broadcasting peaceful greetings in every language the hegemony knew. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the unknown ship responded. A face appeared on the communication screen. The diplomats stared. The creature looking back at them was strange. It had only 2 eyes. Its skin was soft and pink with no scales or armor. It had hair growing from its head, dark and long. By hegemony standards, it looked weak, fragile, almost harmless. "Hello," the creature said. The translation software worked quickly, converting its words. "My name is Captain Park. I command this vessel, the Earth exploration ship Horizon's Edge. We come in peace." The lead diplomat, a 6-armed being named Counselor, leaned forward. "I am Counselor of the Galactic Hegemony. You have entered our space without permission. Please explain your presence." The creature called Park smiled. It was a strange expression, showing small white teeth. "We apologize for any trouble. We did not know this space belonged to anyone. We are explorers from a planet called Earth. We have been traveling the stars for 300 years looking for other life." Counselor felt confusion. 300 years. Your species has only been spacefaring for 300 years. "That is correct." The diplomats looked at each other. This made no sense. Most species needed thousands of years to develop the technology for faster-than-light travel. The hegemony's own founders had taken 8,000 years. How could these soft, fragile beings have done it in only 3 centuries? "That is not possible," said carefully. "The development of advanced space travel requires." "We learn fast," Captain Park said simply. "Humans are good at figuring things out. We had to be. Our world was not easy to survive." While the diplomats talked, Intelligence Officer was aboard's flagship, scanning the human vessel with every sensor available. What he found made his blood run cold. He rushed to side. "Commander, I have completed my deep scan." "What did you find?" His hands were trembling. "Their engine produces power more efficiently than anything we have. Their hull is made of materials we cannot identify. And their weapons." "They have weapons." "I think so, sir, but I cannot tell what they do. The energy readings are completely foreign to me. Commander, that tiny ship could probably fight its way through our entire fleet." Watched the diplomatic exchange on his screen. The human captain looked so calm, so friendly. She smiled and answered questions politely. She did not seem afraid of the 200 warships pointing at her. Why would she be afraid? If was right, she had nothing to fear from them. The conversation continued for hours. The humans explained their history. They came from a small planet orbiting an average star. They had fought many wars among themselves before uniting to explore the stars. They had no empire, no great military force. They simply wanted to see what was out there. "We hoped we would find other intelligent life," Captain Park said. "We did not want to be alone in the universe." Counselor asked many questions. How did humans reproduce? How long did they live? What did they eat? Each answer brought new surprises. Humans only lived for about 80 years. They ate plants and meat from other animals. They required sleep every day or they would go mad. They were sensitive to temperature, radiation, and hundreds of diseases. By all logic, they should not have survived on their own world, let alone conquered space travel. "Your planet," asked slowly, "what is it like?" Captain Park thought for a moment. "Beautiful but dangerous. We have storms that can destroy cities, ground that shakes and opens up, mountains that explode with fire, oceans that can swallow ships, and many creatures that would happily eat us." "And you survived all of this?" "We did more than survive," Park said, and that strange smile returned. "We thrived. We built cities and ships and machines. We reached our moon, then our neighboring planets, then the stars beyond. Every problem we faced, we solved. Every danger we overcame. That is what humans do." The diplomats ended the communication and returned to the flagship. Their report was detailed, but their conclusion was simple. The humans seemed peaceful. They did not appear to want war. But read between the lines. These beings had crawled out of a death world and reached the stars in 3 centuries. They had technology that made the hegemony look primitive. And they had done it all not because they were strong, but because they refused to give up. That kind of determination was more dangerous than any weapon. Sent his report to the Supreme Overseer with a single recommendation: treat these humans very, very carefully. The Supreme Overseer read every report about the humans 3 times. Then she made a decision that surprised everyone. She sent her personal scholar, a brilliant researcher named, to study the humans directly, not from a distance, not through screens and sensors. She wanted to go aboard the human ship and learn everything. Was small for his species, with large eyes made for reading and thin arms made for writing. He had studied 400 different civilizations. He thought he understood how species developed and grew. The humans would prove him wrong. Captain Park welcomed him aboard the Horizon's Edge with that strange human smile. The ship was smaller inside than expected. The halls were narrow. The rooms were cramped. Everything was built for efficiency, not comfort. "We do not need much space," Park explained as she showed him around. "Humans are adaptable. We can live almost anywhere." Spent his first day simply watching. He watched humans eat together in a small room they called a mess hall. He watched them exercise in a tiny gym, lifting heavy weights and running on machines. He watched them work at their stations, talking and laughing with each other. They seemed so normal, so ordinary. How could these simple beings have achieved what they had? On the second day began his interviews. He started with the ship's engineer, a man named. Was young by human standards, with short dark hair and quick hands that never stopped moving. "Tell me about your engine," said. "How does it work?" Scratched his head. "Well, the basic idea came from a scientist about 200 years ago. She figured out that if you bend space a certain way, you can move faster than light. The first engine we built based on her work exploded and killed everyone on board." "Felt sick? That is terrible." "Yes, so we built a second one. That one also exploded. The third one worked for about 10 minutes before the core collapsed, killed 12 people," shrugged. "But we kept trying. We figured out what went wrong each time and fixed it. Now our engines are pretty reliable. We only lose a ship maybe once every few years. You accept these deaths. Space became serious. We do not accept them. We honor them. Every person who died testing our engines made it possible for us to be here. Their sacrifice matters, but we do not let fear stop us from moving forward. If we did, we would still be living in caves on Earth. Moved on to the ship's doctor, a woman named Han. She was older than, with kind eyes and steady hands. Asked her about human medicine. Our bodies are weak in many ways, admitted. We get sick easily, we break bones, we age and die, but we have learned to fight back. How? When a disease attacks us, our body learns to recognize it. So we discovered that if we inject ourselves with a weak version of a disease, our body learns to fight it before the real thing comes. She smiled at the look on his face. We call it vaccination. We give ourselves sickness to prevent sickness. Could not believe what he was hearing. You deliberately infect yourselves. Yes, it has saved billions of lives. We also cut open our bodies to fix problems inside. We replace broken parts with machines. We grow new organs from our own cells. Death does not accept us easily because we refuse to go quietly. The third interview was with the security chief, a tall man named Minyu. He had broad shoulders and calm eyes that missed nothing. Asked about human combat abilities. Would you like a demonstration? Minyu asked. Before could answer, Minyu had contacted ship and requested 3 hegemony soldiers for a friendly sparring match. The soldiers who came were from a warrior species, tall and strong with 4 arms each. The match took place in the Horizon's Edge cargo bay, watched in amazement. Minyu moved like water. Every attack the soldiers threw, he dodged or redirected. He used their strength against them, throwing one into another, ducking under strikes that should have crushed him. In less than 3 minutes, all 3 soldiers were on the ground, defeated but unharmed. I am sorry, Minyu said, helping them up. I am a bit out of practice. I hope I did not hurt anyone. The soldiers stared at him with something close to fear. That night sat alone in the small room the humans had given him. He looked at his notes. Humans were weak. Their bodies were fragile. They lived short lives. By every measure, they should have been a minor species, stuck on their dangerous world, struggling to survive. But they were not. They had taken every weakness and turned it into strength. Their short lives made them work faster. Their fragile bodies made them clever. Their dangerous world made them tough. Wrote his final report to the Supreme Overseer. It was only 1 page long, but it said everything important. These humans are not strong in the way we understand strength. They are strong in a different way. They adapt. They overcome. They never give up. If we make them our enemies, they will find a way to defeat us, no matter how long it takes. My recommendation is simple. Do not provoke these beings. Make them friends if possible, because I do not believe we want to see what happens when humans decide to fight. He sent the report and hoped the Overseer would listen. The Supreme Overseer read's report and agreed with his recommendation. She ordered all hegemony forces to treat the humans with respect and caution. Peace would be the goal. But not everyone in the hegemony agreed. War Minister was old and proud. He had commanded fleets for centuries. He had crushed rebellions on 100 worlds. In his mind, the hegemony was the greatest power in the galaxy, and these humans were nothing but primitive newcomers who got lucky with their technology. They are bluffing, told his advisors in secret. 1 small ship against our entire empire. They know they cannot win. They are trying to scare us with tricks and lies. The Supreme Overseer has ordered peace, one advisor reminded him. The Supreme Overseer is being foolish, replied. These humans need to learn their place. They need to understand that the hegemony does not fear anyone. Against direct orders, assembled a strike fleet. 30 of his best warships, crewed by loyal soldiers who answered to him alone. He told them they were going to escort the human vessel to a detention facility for further study. The truth was simpler. wanted to show these humans what real power looked like. The fleet arrived at the dead moon where the horizon's edge still waited. 30 massive warships formed a circle around the tiny human vessel. Their weapons powered up, their shields activated, stood on the bridge of his flagship, smiling with satisfaction. "Human vessel," he broadcast, "you are now under arrest by order of War Minister of the Galactic Hegemony. Lower your shields and prepare to be boarded. Resist and you will be destroyed." For a moment there was silence. Then Captain Park's voice came through the communication system. She sounded the same as always, calm, polite, completely unafraid. "War Minister, I do not believe the Supreme Overseer authorized this action. The Supreme Overseer is not here. I am, and I am giving you one chance to surrender peacefully." "I see." There was a pause. "I am going to ask you once to stand down. We do not want trouble. We came here to make friends, not enemies." Laughed. "You are one ship against 30. You are surrounded. You have nowhere to run and no hope of victory. Surrender now, or I will order my fleet to open fire." Captain Park sighed. It was a tired sound, like a parent dealing with a difficult child. She said, speaking to someone off-screen, "Wake up the backup systems." "Are you sure, Captain?" his voice replied. "I am sure. Keep it gentle. We do not want to kill anyone." "Understood." Frowned. What were they talking about? What backup systems? Before he could demand answers, something happened that he would never forget. The horizon's edge moved. It did not simply fly, it danced. One moment it was surrounded by 30 warships. The next moment it was behind them, then beside them, then above them. It moved faster than any ship had ever seen, changing direction in ways that should have torn it apart. "Fire!" screamed. "All ships fire!" His fleet opened up with everything they had. Missiles streaked through space. Energy beams cut across the darkness. Enough firepower to destroy a small moon poured toward the human vessel. None of it hit. The horizon's edge slipped between attacks like it could see the future. It spun and rolled and twisted, dodging everything while barely seeming to try. And then it started shooting back. Thin beams of white light lanced out from the human ship. They struck warships one by one. The beams did not explode. They did not burn. They simply touched the ships, and those ships went dark. Engines failed. Weapons stopped working. Lights flickered out. Ship after ship was disabled, left floating helplessly in space. 11 minutes. That was how long it took. 11 minutes for one tiny human ship to defeat 30 hegemony warships. Not a single person died. Not one ship was destroyed. The humans had taken apart's entire fleet without killing anyone. When it was over, the horizon's edge returned to its original position. Captain Park's face appeared on screen. The communication system on his flagship still worked, which meant the humans wanted him to hear this. "War Minister," she said. Her voice was still calm, but there was something cold underneath it now. "We really did not want trouble. We came here hopping to find friends, but we will not let anyone threaten us or our crew." Could not speak. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. "What you just saw was our ship running at partial power with our least dangerous weapons. We have not shown you what we can really do, and I hope we never have to." Park leaned forward. "Go home. Tell your overseer what happened here. Tell her that humanity wants peace. But also tell her this. We have survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and the death of our own planet. We did not come this far to be bullied by anyone. We will be friends with those who want friendship. And we will be the worst enemy imaginable to those who want war. The choice is yours." The screen went dark. Sat in his chair, surrounded by the floating wreckage of his pride. Rescue ships were already on their way to collect his stranded fleet. He would have to face the Supreme Overseer and explain his failure. But worse than the shame was the fear. For the first time in his long life, understood what it meant to be powerless. The humans had beaten him without even trying hard. And they had shown mercy. That mercy frightened him most of all. because beings who could destroy you but chose not to were far more dangerous than beings who simply wanted to kill. News of defeat spread across the hegemony like fire. The recordings from the battle were shown on every world. Millions of beings watched a single human ship defeat 30 warships in 11 minutes. Fear rippled through the empire. The Supreme Overseer punished severely. He was stripped of his rank and sent to a distant prison world. His name became a warning to others who might think of acting without orders. But the Overseer faced a bigger problem. What should the hegemony do about the humans? Some advisors said attack them now before they brought more ships. Others said run away, put as much distance as possible between the hegemony and these terrifying beings. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone was afraid. The Overseer chose a third path. She would meet the humans herself. It was an act that had not happened in thousands of years. The ruler of 400 species traveling to an alien vessel with only a small escort. Many thought she was mad, but the Overseer understood something her advisors did not. The humans had shown mercy too. They had not killed anyone when they easily could have. That meant something. Captain Park met the Overseer at the entrance to the horizon's edge. The human woman bowed respectfully, and the Overseer returned the gesture. "Welcome aboard," Park said. "I hope you do not mind, but we do not have furniture sized for someone like you. We can meet in the cargo bay where there is more space." "That is acceptable," the Overseer replied. The cargo bay had been cleared and cleaned. Human crew members had set up a small table with 2 chairs. On the table sat a pot of steaming liquid and 2 small cups. "Please sit," Park said. "May I offer you tea? It is a traditional human drink. We share it with guests as a sign of friendship." The Overseer had never heard of tea. She looked at the dark liquid in the cup and saw steam rising from it. One of her guards scanned it quickly and confirmed it was not poison. "I will try it," the Overseer said. The tea was bitter but not unpleasant. The Overseer drank slowly while Park waited in patient silence. "Your species confuses me," the Overseer finally said. "You have power that could crush our empire. Why did you not use it against? Why did you not destroy his fleet?" Park set down her cup. "Because we have done enough destroying. Earth's history is full of war and death. We killed each other for thousands of years over land, resources, beliefs. We nearly destroyed our own world with weapons we built to fight each other. When we finally reached the stars, we decided to be different, better. We came out here hopping to find friends, not enemies. But you still have weapons. You still fight when threatened. Yes, we are not fools. We know the universe can be dangerous, but we try to use violence only as a last choice, not a first one. Attacked us. We defended ourselves, but we did not kill his people because killing was not necessary." Park looked directly at the Overseer. "We want to be friends with the hegemony, real friends, but friendship cannot be forced. It must be chosen." The Overseer considered these words for a long time. She had ruled for centuries. She had seen empires rise and fall. She had made alliances and broken them. But she had never met a species quite like this one. "What do humans want?" she asked, truly. Park smiled. "We want to learn, we want to explore, we want to meet new species and understand their cultures. We want to trade knowledge and help each other grow. And most of all," she paused, "we do not want to be alone. The universe is too big for loneliness. We spent thousands of years on Earth looking up at the stars and wondering if anyone else was out there. Now we know the answer is yes. That makes us happy." Over the following months, things changed. The hegemony and humanity began talking, not as enemies, not even as careful strangers, but as beings trying to understand each other. The crew of the Horizon's Edge became unofficial ambassadors. Young ensigns spent time with hegemony children, teaching them human games and learning theirs in return. Navigator Lee shared star charts of regions the hegemony had never explored, places where humans had already traveled. Communications officer learned 17 alien languages just because she found them interesting. Slowly, fear turned to curiosity. Hegemony scientists visited the horizon's edge to study human technology. Human doctors shared medical knowledge with alien healers. Artists exchanged ideas. Musicians played for each other. The wall between two civilizations began to crumble. The day came when the horizon's edge prepared to leave. Captain Park had received orders to return to Earth and report everything they had learned, but they would not travel alone. A hegemony escort ship waited nearby, crewed by volunteers who wanted to see humanities. Scholar was among them. He had requested the assignment personally. "Are you not afraid?" one of his colleagues asked before he left. "They are so strange, so unpredictable." Thought about the humans he had met, with his endless curiosity, with her kindness, Minu with his quiet strength, Captain Park with her steady leadership. "I am not afraid," he said. "I am excited. These humans have something special. They call it hope. They believe tomorrow can always be better than today. I want to understand that feeling. I want to bring it back to our people." The two ships jumped to faster-than-light speed together, heading toward a small blue planet orbiting an average star. Scholar watched through the viewing window as the stars blurred around them. He took out his recorder and spoke the words that would later be taught in schools across the hegemony. "The humans have a saying, 'The universe is too big to be alone.' I begin to suspect they will not allow anyone to be alone for long. They reach out. They connect. They build bridges where others build walls. Whether this is a blessing or a curse, only time will tell. But watching their small ship fly beside ours, carrying us toward their home, I find myself hopping it is a blessing. I find myself believing that perhaps, after 12,000 years, the hegemony has finally found something better than subjects or enemies. Perhaps we have found partners. Perhaps we have found friends." He stopped the recording and looked out at the endless stars. Somewhere ahead, Earth was waiting, and with it, a future that neither humans nor the hegemony could have imagined alone. Together, though, anything seemed possible.